Angola has announced it will deploy a contingent of peacekeeping troops to the Democratic Republic of Congo following consultations with the DRC government. Angola's presidency said in a statement, the primary objective of the troops is to secure the areas where M23 rebels are stationed, as well as protect members of a team tasked with monitoring the ceasefire. Angola is leading the mechanism to investigate reciprocal accusations between the DRC and Rwanda, as well as allegations of border violations. The DRC has accused Rwanda of supporting the M23 rebel group, an accusation that Rwanda has strongly denied. Well, let's cross over to Chris Ochamringa. He's live for us in Kinshasa. Chris, what's the latest from the UN Security Council delegation's visit to Goma? And how has the team's tour of the DRC impacted the focus on the conflict in the East?
Well, the members of the UN Security Council told the people in Goma that they stand in solidarity with them and that they will do everything within their power to help the DRC government try and resolve the conflict in that area. They also told them that the UN peacekeeping mission, the 16,000 strong force, is a friend, not an enemy. Because Goma was the area where protests broke out last year. Many people were very angry with the United Nations peacekeeping mission, known as MONUSCO, for failing to stop the attacks against them by militia groups, and they wanted them to leave. So the members of the United Nations Security Council told them that the UN peacekeepers are there to protect them. They have a mandate of protecting civilians, and also have another force that has been given the mandate to combat the militia groups in the eastern DRC. And so they have assessed the security and humanitarian situation on the ground, and they will go back to New York and come up with measures, appropriate measures, to ensure that this conflict is brought to a halt. They also said that they will help the DRC government prepare the elections, because there have been some fears that the ongoing conflict in the east of the DRC may disrupt the elections and lead to more violence. So the United Nations officials are saying that they will help the DRC government ensure that, first of all, they try and stop that conflict before December, and also help them in preparing the elections, because this country is very, very large and doesn't have a very good road network. So they will help them in trying to provide logistics to deliver voting materials to different parts of the country. Beatrice? And also another thing about this visit of theirs, Congolese are very skeptical about the arrival of the UN Security Council members here, because for a very long time the DRC president and senior government officials have been urging the United Nations Security Council to impose sanctions against Rwanda, which they accuse of backing the M23 rebels. There was a group of UN experts who came here and carried out an investigation and found that the Rwandan Defense Forces had indeed fought alongside the M23 rebels. So the Congolese have been asking for sanctions, but that hasn't happened. And so they're very disappointed. What they want to see is the UN peacekeeping mission fighting against the rebels, and that is well, they will be convinced that the UN is really siding with them. Beatrice?
Well, Chris, Angola is sending troops to the DRC in areas where the M23 rebels operate. How have regional troops deployed there changed the course of the M23's activities?
Well, first of all, the announcement by the Angolan presidency about the deployment of troops has added a whole new twist to this conflict. First of all, among the Congolese people, there's a lot of excitement on social media. People are very happy. You know, Angola is part of one of the member states of the Southern African Development Community, a trade bloc that is from Southern Africa, and Congolese officials, the government, has been urging members of that trade bloc to send troops to fight against the M23 rebels, because they're very skeptical about the East African community, and that's because their arch enemy, Rwanda, is in that trade bloc, the East African community, and Uganda also is also there. And these are two countries that have had a history of meddling in the DRC's, the east of the DRC. And so they are very happy that Angola is coming here. We are still waiting to see when they will arrive. We don't know the number of troops that will come, but certainly there's going to be a change in the dynamics, the conflict, the war in eastern DRC. Burundi is also in Goma, and people have been talking to some security analysts in the DRC. They're saying that Burundian forces had engaged in fighting alongside the Congolese army to try and repel the M23 rebels from advancing in North Kivu province. And so we are still waiting to see. On the 30th of March is when the deadline that was issued by the East African community is supposed to take effect. The M23 rebels are supposed to cease fire and withdraw from all those areas. So if they don't, then Angola will be deployed in some of those areas where they're supposed to leave. We don't know whether there will be a confrontation, but some people are fearing that this might be a repeat of what happened in 1998, where 9 African countries fought in eastern DRC, some on the side of the DRC government, others against, and it was a very, very bloody conflict that left millions dead and many others displaced. People are just hoping that that does not happen this time round.